kitang tanan adunay katungod nga masayod kalabot sa mga kalihukan sa pangagamhanan. Ang kagamhanang probinsyal nga gipanguluhan ni Gobernador Edgar Migrinio Chato mihanay ning sinimanang tulumanon aron masayod ug mahibaw ang katawhan. Kita ug ang gobernador. Kita ug ang gobernador. Mga palisiya sa probinsya nga may kalambigitan ang kinaiyahan, agrikultura ug turismo nga maoy sandayong sa panginabuhian ug ingon man sa panglawas ug edukasyon sa katawhan, maoy lintong hanay nga hisgutanan. Kita ug ang gobernador. Uban sa mga sakop sa Bohol Tri-Media Association ug uban pang sektor, atong kukabilduhan ang ugma sa atong lalawigan. Kita ug ang gobernador.
Sa ato mga nagpaminaw karon sa atong programa, ito ang gobernador. Mayong punta sa atong mga listeners at viewers karon na nagsuot na nato pinaagi sa dydram.com o sa dyrd.com. Mayong punta sa atong mga kaigsunan at tumahigala sa Bohol Media nga naridinihin o atong mga bisita usab nga atong i-expect na karugtaga. Of course, atong gobernador, si Governor Edgar Chato, o ba atong makabanan sa atong provincial government. Salamat kayong tanan sa inyong presensya karugtaga o kumanin ato na tayo parang tapok-tapok sa atong higala sa Bohol Media. So, thank you usab sa atong mga kaigsunan sa provincial government, atong tanan mga stakeholders, atong development partners dito sa atong provincial government. And ang atong mga kauban sa provincial government usab, atong mga department heads, karong lawar ka o karong gabi na, atong i-expect ang atong provincial government Christmas party. Kagabi, ang atong governor's office Christmas party usab, dihin mo na ito sa atong cultural center, atong year-end assessment. Naman-human na tanan, halos mga departments o tanan mga buhatan sa atong provincial government sa tanan mga year-end assessment na atong ipaghimo. Unsay mga natin, unsay mga na-perform sa atong mga nagalaing departamento sa atong provincial government. So, pasalamat ta sa tanan nato na-achieve sa tuig 2018. Tanan natong mga departments based sa atong mga project procurement management plan, based sa atong annual investment plan, o in general sa atong development plan sa provincial government. Unsay atong na-deliver karong tuiga. Salamat kaayo mga kaigsunan na atong kaning hanyag nato sa atong magkataman, pinaagi sa atong pagtinabangay o pinaagi sa mga paningkamot sa atong nagalaing official sa atong lalawigan sa Bohol, of course, led by Governor Edgar Chato. Atong pasalamat usab ang mga private stakeholders na kanunay nag-duyog, nag-auban ka nato sa pag-deliver sa mga nagkaunang servisyo sa atong lalawigan sa Bohol. Ang atong mga sakop sa Provincial Development Council, labi na ang atong Bohol Chamber of Commerce and Industry, ang atong Provincial Tourism Council, ang atong non-government organization, uban pa ng mga private sector group, nagalaing mga NGOs, o mga civil society, nga uban ka na ito kanunay sa atong pagpangalagal sa atong provincial government. Thank you. So karon uban ka na ito ang inyong gihangyo, na itong naging Bernes, ang atong mga kauban sa Bohol Banglao International Airport Project Management Office o ato ang nag-lead din magkaigsunan, of course, ang atong DOTR, mauman ang implementing agency sa atong New Bohol Airport, Department of Transportation. And siguro ta nga atong mga sa Bohol Media, doon na mo ilaghang mga inquiries, even public, kalabot sa operation sa atong Bohol Banglao International Airport. So, atong gidapig sila and expect po ta nga uban dili ka nato ang CAAC o ang Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines. Nagka-istorya man si Governor Chato sa ilang mga top officials, base dito na sila ipadapot dili nga representative ang Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines. But niya ka nato ba ang ato ang DOTR, Project Director, na maoy kitahasan sa supervise ni atong project. Of course, nailanan ninyo, nakita naman ninyo si Engineer Edgar Manalili at tagan sa masipang pampang may na itong project director. And then, ang ato ang project consultant nga maoy supervise sa overall ng construction sa atong Bohol, Panglag International Airport from the Japan Airport Consultants, si Engineer Tadashi Awi, itong tagan sa masipang pampang may later on, ato mauban si Governor Edgar Chato, but ato unahon ni kayo doon mga concerns no ninyong vote yung masayran. So, ready na ba? Magagalas media? O kung namin pabuta?
Mayroon ni Chico na.
Okay. So, atong igahin no? Mga igayon. Para sa inyo yung paabot mismo ang inyong mga concerns. Directly, no? Meaning atong duha ka gentleman na nako kayo responsibility ng mga proyekto. So, maybe, ako tagtagaan gamay yung pagtibaya to greet no, our Boholano friends. Sir, Edgar, Engineer Edgar.
Good morning po sa inyong lahat. And in behalf of the Department of Transportation and the Project Management Office for the New Bohol Airport Construction and Development, the Sustainable Environment Protection Project, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir Awi, your greetings to the Boholano people.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, good morning. So I'm Tadashi Aoi from Japan Airport Consultant. We are now almost 10 years before construction. From 2009, we are involved in this project. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So, si Chito Bisara would like to give the question to our resource person.
Chito, good morning. And Engineer Manalili, how ready was the airport when you decided to start the operations about a day after the inauguration? Because the public was expecting that the operation would start 3 months or 2 months after, but we were startled to know that the operation would start 2 days after, and there were, in fact, it was not birth pains. According to them, it was premature. So, what made you decide to open the airport to the inconvenience of the public?
Excuse me lang, Engineer, no? Before matubag ang Chito, we would like to request Governor Chato no, sa opening statement. So, welcome, Governor Chato.
Daghang kayo salamat, Provincial Administrator A. Damalerio, o may buntagan niyong tanan, labi na sa mga bisita. Karong buntaga, Ed, mga Lili, o ang atong consultant Engineer Awi. So, may buntag, may muto, may gabi, dili na po putlon ang atong panag-istorya karong naglawa, o akong ipakalipay usab na niyaw ka nato ang atong kauban sa kaap, no? So, Attorney Tatong Hari o iyang mga kauban. So, in full force ang grupo sa New Bohol Panglao International Airport. Gikan sa construction team, ngadto sa temporary management ng mao ang kaap. Okay, let's proceed.
Okay, ang uban ay karon ni Attorney Bayan Tatong Hari is sa kaapos si Efren Nagrama. Okay. Sige, General Manalili, about the question ni Chito.
Again, good morning everyone. Actually, the decision to open the airport, the Bohol International Airport, is a must decision as far as the government is concerned. Basically because, number one, the Tagbilaran runway is really fast deteriorating. If you don't know yet, as early as November, we've been experiencing some potholes that occurs at the runway of Tagbilaran. And the Tagbilaran Airport officials are doing their best during nighttime to repair those potholes. However, there were occasions where during wet weather or bad weather, they cannot do the necessary repair. So if we allow such potholes to be there and allow its operation, it will expose the operation in a very delicate and very dangerous situation. That's why even when the Mall Panglao Airport is not yet fully completed, let's say as of November, in fact, the airport is about 98%. The government officials decided to have it open rather than to wait for an accident to happen. So that's basically the primordial reason why Mall Panglao was open last November 2020.
Okay. Can I follow up, Mr. Chief?
Sir, so how ready is now, what's now the status of the present airport in terms of operation? What are the, there are kinks to be ironed out. What is the status now of the operations?
Would Kgob like to respond? No? Attorney Rafael, tanong
Because last week there was a flight cancelled because of sunset limitation.
Good morning, everyone. The operations of Panglao Airport is just the same as just like Tagbilaran operations. We just transferred the operation from Tagbilaran to Panglao. So Tagbilaran Airport was operating on a 12-hour operation daily from 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening. So we are still in the process, we are in the transition stage, so that all those flights from Tagbilaran were just transferred, so including the timings. So in the case of those cancelled flights, actually, it should not be blamed on the airport. The reason by the airlines is always like there's an airport closure. But actually, the airline did not adhere to its schedule for whatever reason, especially those flights coming from Manila. We know the situation in Manila about the congestion. So once they are not able to adhere to this schedule and land in Panglao before sunset time, they cannot take off Panglao, then they would not be able to take off anymore. So they will remain overnight, and that would not be good for the airline because they have other flights to serve the next day. So it's their decision actually. If they sense that they won't be able to get out of Panglao, to fly out of Panglao after sunset, before sunset, it's their decision not to proceed anymore. Thank you.
If I may, actually, the plan of opening the airport of Bohol Panglao International Airport in a VFR procedure is really a plan even long time before. We did not plan to open Panglao for commercial operation immediately as an IFR airport or the instrument fly-through airport. That's really a plan even long time before, because the IFR will take some more procedures, more processes, because the ILS procedure has to be designed and has to undergo the necessary flight check and then the necessary publication in the IRAC cycle. And also, I was reminded also that just again, in addition to what I have said a while ago, if you are not aware of yet, a few months back, Tagbilaran Airport was almost closed for 2 That's the reason why the Tagbilaran Airport sought our help to provide the necessary asphalt. We really help through our contractors to bring in some asphalt from Bohol just to have the repair here. And also the province of Bohol was also tasked to assist during that time. They were asked to provide the necessary heavy equipment because at that time we cannot really provide the necessary equipment. That's why through Governor Chato, he assisted in the preparation and the necessary repair of the Tagbilaran runway. So the bottom line is really the primordial concern is about safety. No matter what, we have to ensure safety.
So the safety of still the BFR compared to IFR is still the same as the standard that is being used by the old airport?
Yeah. Actually, the BFR is a limitation from the sunrise to sunset limitation. So the IFR will allow the nighttime operation.
Sir, last question, sir. How is your coordination with the local government unit? Because we learned that like security and the disposal of garbage, correct me if I'm wrong, there were reports that we received that there's a pile of garbage because there is a, you cannot agree of who will collect the garbage, whether it would be the Kgob or the local government unit, sir. How is your coordination with the local government unit in terms of operations of the airport?
We already coordinated with the local government unit of Panglao, and in fact, they agreed that they will be the ones who will collect our garbage. But they requested us that before they collect our garbage, it should be properly segregated. And they offered us that they will conduct orientation for our employees, even those regular employees working in our administrative building, not necessarily assigned in the terminal building. They should undergo orientation about garbage segregation. We are going to schedule that one. I think it's because of the holiday season, hopefully we can schedule that next week in order for everybody, every stakeholder to be aware about the requirement of the municipal government that they should segregate their garbage first, kana sa ilaha mismo, segregate in that before we collect also. So we have the MRF facility, and this time, presently, our facility cleaners or janitors are the one segregating the garbage. So those segregated garbage will be the ones that will be picked up by the municipal government. We are very grateful to the municipality of Panglao for this help, and there's so much to be done for this activity since, like I said, there should be an orientation first in order that all employees, stakeholders of the airport should be aware about the segregation requirement.
Thank you, sir. Dito, respondent from the
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Nasa Presidential People, si Governor sa mga bisita sa Napati. I have three concerns about sa airport. If I'll be asking on the area for the PWD, for the massage and entertainment area, who will answer? Is it it or Attorney Engineer Mananili or Attorney sa Kgob?
I will defer to my cluster manager, Mr.
Yes. Sir, is there any place where we can accommodate the PWD just like yung sa mga masahista po, and just like we accommodate nila diri sa airport mas Banglao? Ano mo ka answer? Ang UTR ba o kaaba?
Yes, good morning first to the Governor and to all present in this room. Yes sir, we're in the process of zoning the whole airport. Kasi gusto natin itong international airport will be known to be an international airport talaga. So we'll be starting everything doon sa maayos na pagpaplano. Kung mapapansin nyo, not only the massage area yung wala dyan ngayon, but then yung ibang concession area. And then the airport or the CAAP now is in the process of zoning all this. Napapansin kasi natin na yung ibang mga airports, tumutubo lang yung mga concessions. No? So lumalabas eventually na pag nandoon na sila, hindi maganda tingnan. So yun ang ginagawa ng CAAP. But then definitely all the services that is needed by the public will be accommodated, subject then doon sa limitation ng space.
Okay, so walang assurance pa under study.
Sir, there is, as I have said, kung ano pong kailangan ng airport, including yung massage, will study it and then we will accommodate it later.
Okay, international airport, pero wala tayong automatic transfer switch. Ito kas 2 minutes until ma-activate yung power sa Banglao during presidential visit. Bakit ba wala tayong automatic switch?
Actually, meron po tayong automatic switch.
2 minutes at
switch. Actually, ito pong during that time, hindi pa lang po talaga fully completed yung switch gear. So that's the reason why such incident happened.
Okay.
So we will be honest with you, during that particular time, the BMS or the building maintenance system is not yet completed. So that's the reason also why, I'd like to be honest with you, that's the reason also why we opted to make use of the generator to power the whole area during that inauguration night. Number one, on that, a week before that November 20, we've been experiencing some power interruptions for a number of occasions. That's why, because of the incompleteness of the PMS and the switch gear, we opted to decide, or we decided to make use of the generators. And then, after that, the incident happened.
But now, if there is a blackout, burnout, automatic tayo.
Yeah, pag po na-kompleto yung PMS,
Ay, hindi pa na-kompleto.
hindi pa kasi na-kompleto. That's the reason why we have been experiencing a lag about 2 minutes na.
Okay, there was a time when Secretary Pagani was interviewed by the media. Their target for mga bagong sa airport, Bacolod, Iloilo, Itingan, and Bohol is to decongest Manila because we can accommodate night flights. We will be the target ninyo for the night flight for Banglao Airport.
Well, as mentioned by Atty. Tatlong Hari, we stick to the present at all the previous Tagbilaran night of operations. No? At yun nga, sabi ni Engineer Mangalili, simply because mayroon pa tayong mga facilities and equipment na needed to be installed. Sir, as the public demands eventually, we will be opening, extending the hours of operations, and we cannot say definitely the time. But then, pag nasatisfy na natin itong safety requirements, we'll be open to the demand of the public, especially that we really are supporting the congestion of Manila, and this is one of the airports that can really address that big national issue.
Okay. Do we have PAPI na in that area? Precision approach. PAPI ba yun? Yun yung tulay ng mga pagawi?
Actually, yung PABI po is the Precision Approach Path Indicator.
Okay.
It's already in operation.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Balik po sa order. Kgob, ang order pala yung sa ilang questions. From, of course, Felix Semplon, then Dodong Pintado, and Jun Gutierrez.
Good morning, everybody. Governor, Administrator, and the Manager, and Engineer Manalili. Okay, my first question is addressed to Attorney Tatlong Hari from Kgob.
Just because.
Okay. Okay, Attorney Tatlong Hari, I would like to question the manner of your Kgob personnel during a recent radio interview. Somewhat like an arrogant manner in attending radio interview. Are you friendly to the media, or is the media open to the Kgob, or you are a media guy?
I'm sorry about that, sir. I don't know if you have interviewed any of our employees.
It happens on the air during inyong alaga, or during radio patrol program o Matikusa.
I'm not privy to that because even me, even our cluster manager who is higher than me, cannot just or ikaw na ang sumagot niyan. There's this actually a national.
Yes, sir. First, gusto namin i-confirm if you interviewed Kgob employees because we are not simply granting anybody to answer questions from the media, especially if it involves yung mga sensitive na issues. Kaya hopefully, sa susunod po, talagang kay Atty. Tatlong Hari tayo humingi ng pahintulot kung if you are really want to talk to somebody, especially if it involves airport concern, para po masagot din namin ang tama ang mga tanong nito.
So it would mean that the media is not open directly to your office at Kgob?
No, sir. Ibig sabihin po lang po namin, we are designating PIOs. In fact, in our airports, there are PIOs. Baka lang po nagkataon na yung natanungan ninyo, hindi mismo yung mga designated spokespersons.
About the series of limitation in the new Panglao Airport, a series of restriction. What can you say about this, sir?
Sir, airport is operating talagang marami mga restrictions, no? Salamat na nag-brought up niyo yan. In fact, before the opening, we conducted a series of meetings, lalo-lalo na sa safety and security. Those are joint airport security and emergency committees meeting. Kasi po, talagang gusto natin ipaalam din sa publiko kung ano yung mga do's and don'ts sa airport. At the same time, we wanted also to adjust to the community. We know that there are issues of parang mga local ordinances, for example, may mga practices din tayo, that we wanted to align with that. No? We wanted to harmonize yung airport standards, yung requirements ng airport. Of course, without sacrificing in the first place yung safety and security. But as to the openness to the public, CAAP will always be open to the public.
So if there is some question,
Last question, Alex. Last question.
Against the airport management. So, sino ba talaga ang sumagot? Yung focal person is the provincial government or is the Kgob management? Because the former Mayor Dodong Alcala is kept on busting the provincial government authority. When in fact, it is in jurisdiction to your office, national office in the Kgob. So, sino ba talaga ang sasagot kung merong mga reklamo against the way the management of the Kgob in the airport?
Yes, for as long as airport operations is concerned, I would recommend you to talk directly to Atty. Pine unless otherwise he is not around and he has designated somebody to speak in his behalf.
Thank you. Salamat, Lex. Thank you, Efren. Dodong Pintado and Jun Gutierrez.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Kgob. Magandang umaga po sa ating mga taga-Kgob. Sir, yung concern ko lang, sir, baka mangyari ulit yung biglang pagkawala ng kuryente natin sa airport. Wala naman problema yun pagka dumating yung panahon na biglang mag-shut off o preparado naman talaga yung airport natin. Yung sa kuryente.
Actually, as I've been telling a while ago, we are waiting for the completion of the BMS that will ensure no power interruption. Yeah, and once it is completed, there will be no power interruption. So meanwhile, while we are waiting for its completion, put in order po kami ng isang interim solution where we really put in personnel to manually switch on the system in case of any power failure from Boheco to generator and the vice versa.
Okay, salamat po sir. Salamat po.
Thank you. Napabayad po na about sa airport kaya wala na at napailain nga part ng purely provincial government. Last na Dave responded about sa airport. And one last about airport Katsito. Okay?
May buntag, sir. We interviewed the cloud seeding team recently. There were concerns raised on the management on Kgob. Ang reklamo nila, sir, di sila makapagsilong sa building ninyo. This is a government project. Why can't you accommodate them? According to their complaint, kahit man lang pasilongin sila kung umuulan ba? How are you addressing that, sir?
We actually accommodated them. In fact, last week there was already an approval of the request by our office in Manila. And upon receiving that email from Manila, I immediately instructed our chief at the control tower to find a place for them to install their tents. And it's so far, ang imong-ingon nga dili makapasilong, magpasilong ni isang kinsang sa mga opisina. In fact, open kayo ng opisinahan. Ang nangamuan yung building na control tower. Ang ilang request is that tent. Karang mga yung na mangod nga concern, naamang na space nga kuha nga gamiton. So, kinahanglan nasad na mo i-clarify sa among central office if there's involved diha nga concession kung naabay mga fee. That's why I advise them to write a letter to our central office and expressly ask for a waiver for any fee. Which mao'y nahitabo. With the endorsement of the Honorable Governor, nag-endorse din si Kgob na dito. So muna, the space is ready for them. Amo na silang i-contact. Amo kung kada saan sila mo install.
Okay. Next question, sir. A question was raised in Sangguniang Palalawigan concerning tricycle operators legally operating in Panlao. They have their own franchise. Their complaint is di sila makapasok para makapick up ng pasahero. They raised that issue to Sangguniang Palalawigan, and Sangguniang Palalawigan is taking care of an investigation with that. The tricycle issue in Panglao, sir, how are you addressing it? Pwede ba sila? Or parang ang mensahe kasi nila, hindi sila makapasok dahil ayaw ng management ng airport. And eco-airport na ito eh. You are into eco-jeep, eco-trike.
Generally, you can answer that. Generally, yung premise about
Yes, sir. Yung premise kasi natin kanina that we wanted to operate the Bohol Pangasinan International Airport right, being an international airport of that standard talaga. And in all other airports, as mentioned kanina, Davao, Iloilo, yung mga malalaking airports natin, Bacolod, talagang hindi po natin pinapapasok. Even Cebu at Manila, talagang hindi po natin pinapapasok yung airport, yung tricycle. No? But then, kasi mga mamamayan natin ito eh. But then we can, I think, propose for another mode sa kanila. No? Pag-aralan natin mabuti ito. Like what the other airport did is that gumagawa siya ng sort of cooperative and come up with a mode of transportation na yung acceptable pareho sa airport at saka yung kakayanin din nila. It could be a long process, but then I think yun talaga yung magandang direction pupuntahan natin.
Follow-up question on that, sir. Since tricycle are not allowed, no? Bakit nakakapasok yung kulurong dyan? may mga instances or kaibigan ako na isang kolorom 500 hiningi from airport to Alona.
Sir, that has to be checked natin. In fact, kasunod dito sa ating pag-uusap is that the coordination as well to stakeholders, including yung LTFRB, LTO, and the local government itself. Yung inalaw natin nung una is yung kung sino yung nasa Tagbilaran nag-ooperate, yun din muna ang inalaw natin mag-operate doon, simply to serve the public. No? Pero pag talagang may presence ng Kuloro, we will definitely address that together with the Department of Tourism.
Last question na lang, sir. Confirmation from your end. I heard reports from are we operating the airport on 24 hours on January?
Wala pa tayong official na statement.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dave. Okay. Last question about the airport is Chico.
Okay, I would like to address the social aspect of the airport. So how is the those who were displaced, are they as promised? Are they having jobs at the airport as promised by the management committee of the airport? And number two, how long will the Kgob operate the airport, since we learned that this would be privately operated?
Okay. The question is about the proposed private operation of the airport.
Yes, how long would the Kgob, I heard that Kgob would operate that for 6 months, then it will be operated privately.
Okay, I will just discuss to you the status of the proposal. Actually, the OTR approved the proposal of Buitis Infraland Incorporated as original status. So they were given the original proponent status on October 6. And afterwards, it was the proposal was further evaluated by the OTR, and it is already submitted to NEDA for approval last November 29, 2018. And the ball is now with NEDA to evaluate further the proposal of Aboides, and then afterwards, it will be subjected to the necessary Swiss channels.
Thank you, sir. How about the social aspect of the airport, sir? Those displaced from...
I'm sorry to tell you this that I am not from Bohol, I am from Cebu. So when we prepared this airport, I'm sorry but I was not aware about any arrangement like that. It was only recently that I learned about that when I spoke with the OIC of Panglao. He went to the office and ingon siya nga agreement daw ni before local government units or other sectors nga ma-displace sila sa ilang property kay Kgob airport pero na sila priority nga makatrabaho sa airport. So, mauna nga katong pag-recruit na mo, usually ang atong mga trabaho tao nga nasa airport, makita ninyo, grabe ang atong recruitment, ang panginahanglan is mostly mga cleaners, daghana sila, security. So, insofar as cleaners are concerned, i-post na namo sila, pero kadali ra kaayo nga nagpaabot ni sa mga applications nga moabot. Naturally, wa mi mo reach out sa Panglao kay thinking all along and presuming that everybody knows that we are going to operate that airport. So, nagpaabot mi sa mga application nga moabot. Karon ako na aware nga why mga taga-Panglao, but rest assured, puro kaya taga-Panglao, murag gamay ra. But rest assured, puro taga-Bohol. Kung sa'yo na. So, karon nga nag-post na something another recruitment for cleaners. Nagka-istorya naman ni sa OIC, ako siyang tingnan. Itawagan po na po nga, sir, please submit to us the names na katong inyong kasudlon na gusto magtrabaho sa airport. And we are still waiting for that. There's the deadline for the submission of applications will be today. And anyway, pwede rin naman extend. And next week, we will be conducting interview. And those cleaners, 40 of them that will be selected, will be deployed maybe in January.
So the applications are mostly from, specifically from those who are displaced, because it was part of the study of the Japanese government not to give jobs to those who gave up their lands for the airport.
Yes, sir. That's very specific with my meeting with the OIC Mayor Panglao. For them to submit the names, because they're the ones who know kung kinsa itong mga na-displaced. Ako, wala akong idea na. In fact, pag hibaw na ko o na din ko ako. So, karon kaya na ako man tayo. Sige, isabit ng mga pangalan. Kaya ito lang.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so related na siya ito, i-coordinate na sa atong BEPO nga office po, even during the construction period po. Okay. So I think there's one private sector representative na ganahan mo raise about airport. We will allow one question from David Bailey related to Panglao. Please direct your question, David, to any one of these officials.
Thank you very much. And I'm sorry for gate crashing, but I came because I'm very concerned about the transport arrangements for passengers arriving at the airport. Now, basically in the tourist sector, we have two types of tourist business. We have resorts and hotels which have their own transport, who therefore can collect people from the airport and take them back after their trip. But then we have the small people. And the small people are really suffering because there is no provision, even on an emergency basis at the moment, for the majority of them. Now, if you don't have more than 15 rooms, let's say, you rely on having your guests use taxis, tricycles, and buses. Okay. Now, there are no taxis whatsoever. Nobody has applied, as I understand, for a franchise. On the tricycle front, the tricycles have been excluded from the airport. They were outside the fence and visible. And as the vast majority of people want to go to Alona, that only takes 5 minutes. And the reason that people have been charged extorted amounts of money, 350, to go there, is because they're outside the fence, they've been waiting and had no business. So I'm here because I want to appeal, and I will be writing today, that the tricycles be allowed to have a representative standing at the arrivals door so that they can call up tricycles to come and collect people to take them to their areas now. So my question will be to all of the car people and to the governor himself. We need this now. There's talk about e-trikes and other operations, but the crisis is today. People are not showing up for their bookings. People are ringing us up and saying, we're stranded. How do we get to you from the airport? So the tricycle at the moment is the most important piece of available transport. So can we please have an arrangement where that service can be made in the future? Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Before Kaap and DOTR responds to your question, about 2 months ago, prior to this to the opening, there was already a discussion among 3 local government units related to transport. Governor Chato was also there during the second meeting. And the 3 local chief executives of Tagbilaran, Dawis, and Panglao, and their representative. Kgob, the OTR, and other agencies were also there, and even the FRB, in preparing the transport system in Panglao. But it was agreed, honestly it was agreed during that meeting that the tricycles will be given an area outside of the airport for them to queue, David. But anyway, we will let Kgob respond to that. What is their status or what is their update? Okay, so David, we'll let them respond first. Efren or Attorney Pai?
Yes, sir. Thank you for raising that question or that concern. We understand the urgency of this matter. That's why I mentioned that immediately we have to talk with the stakeholders on how really to address this. But then the tricycle operation inside the airport is really a big issue for us. And that I am proposing really that if there is a group, there is a legitimate mode of transport in replacement of the tricycle. That's what I am posing for.
You mean you are waiting for the e-trikes and the other in the future?
If e-trikes is available in the near future, then we have to settle for that. But then what I'm trying to see is that what are the available legal mode of transport presently within Bohol. And I think we have to first use that before we can come up, shall we say, a group of these tricycle people, tricycle operators, to come up with their units consistent with that requirement of international airport.
Okay, there is an association of the Panglao tricycle operators, and I'm sure that they can deal with this very quickly if you'll give them proper access. Thank you.
And in addition, you, Mr. David, raised about the taxi operations. Actually, there's already an application from a group, Batas, to operate at the airport, and that application is now presently with our office in Manila.
How long will that take?
They will have to follow it up.
2 years. Yeah, it's the time that's the key thing. Because the problem is now.
Like I said, they're the ones who are applying to operate in the airport, so it's their responsibility to follow it up.
Sir, to add to that, immediately after these holidays, we will give feedback to this group, to the governor, so that everybody will know where are we going. But immediately, again, the issue of transport should be addressed. We are one in the town.
Yes. Unfortunately, this is the peak season, sir. This is when we have the absolute jams of people coming through. So actually leaving it till after the pre-season makes things difficult for us.
David, excuse me, just to enlighten you about the transport. During that meeting, the 3 local government units representative and the local chief executive agreed to prioritize Dawis Panglao. That even in that meeting, there will be an opening of 300 units for Dawis and 300 units for Panglao. Sakto ba, Rector Edgar? During that meeting, for new modern type of transport, either e-trike or Euro 4 or 3-wheel transport system. In fact, I have confirmed with Dawis and Panglao and Tagbilaran that Kgob is already on the process of their application so that they can also participate in the airport operation. But of course, it has to be approved by LTO and the FRB. Okay.
We're very happy about that.
And those
a long time away.
Yeah, but those tricycle operators will be prioritized if they are going to shift to a modern type, and that has already been arranged with Dawis and Panglao LGU. These existing tricycle operators in Panglao, I heard that there are 100 units with local franchise in Panglao. There are about 30 units that have local tricycle franchise in Dawis. If ever they were going to shift to this modern type of vehicle, they will be given the priority. Okay?
As I say, I'm happy about things in the future, but our issue is today, tomorrow and next week, and this is our real priority. If I may just make one other point, I attended a meeting here, sir, about 9 months ago when the regional director of LTFRB told us that he was completely reorganizing all of the bus and jeepney routes for the whole of Palau. But nothing, it seems, has come about as a result of that. And we're faced with the problem that staff can't get to the airport in any other way except on motorbikes and through emergency transport, which has been laid on. So I would ask the governor, could we please call the regional LTFRB people in, because there's this whole issue of staff transport, jeepneys and buses also needs to be dealt with very seriously and very quickly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, David. No, thank you for your concern. I think napamatay laing i-discuss about sa provincial government sa ibawta ng kumain sa birth page. Go, would you like to summarize some of these concerns?
Yes, una sa tanan, magpasalamat ta sa mga tinugyanan no, sa DOTR, niya si Ed Mangalili, sa atong consultant, Mr. Awi, o sa Kgob mismo, nga niya din si Attorney Totlong-Hari o si Engineer Efren Largrama. Kay naklaro yun nila ang unsay sitwasyon sa management nato sa ato ang airport sa Bohol. Ang ato construction sa airport in terms of civil works, gitrabaho na sa DOTR, kuyog sa contracting companies, kami supervise sa atong Japan airport consultant. Civil works na. Sa land acquisition ni ini, ang provincial government appeal ang resettlement sa mga affected communities. Kunya, ang atong mga kalsada, gitrabaho na sa DOTR, ang main entry, part of the project, ang surrounding periphery, under na sa Department of Public Works and Highways. Ang operation, to be very, very clear about it, is entirely and temporarily Ganong temporarily, tungkol kay ang maong airport, ang trust ni ini is to ang PPP arrangement para sa iyang management. No? So, maunay overall na scenario. Unya, gisummarize din itong mga issues nga gi-raise sa atong mga kauban. I would like to inform the public even before this matter got a hit story in the media, we were already communicating with the Secretary mismo Tugading of the DOTR, precisely because of some gaps that we thought were existing and needs immediate attention. So, Secretary Tugade received my communications in forms of text, and one of the text replies, the handshake mga text reply ng gihatag, was that niingon siya, "Sir, considering the pending and solicited proposal from Aboitiz for the operations and maintenance of the Panglao Airport, DOTR and Kgob only sparingly approved applications for concessionaires as previously instructed, if only to give the proponent a flexible free hand in organizing the concession spaces within the airport." Isibo na sa isulti sa ganiha ni Efren nga nag-zooming pa sila sa airport. Kay iapil na itong question kung nganong wa pa makasud o balik ang mga buta, nga mga nanta, mga massage, apil na itong mga airport-related groups and business exporters o guban pa. No? So, and then Secretary Tugade continued by saying, "Note that as of today, DOTR and Kgob only approved 3 temporary food stalls in Panglao. As regards the transportation and the porter services, the existing transport service of Tagbilaran were allowed to operate in Panglao for the time being, while a short list of transport applicants for new contracts under Panglao Airport is being submitted for approval by the DOTR." Sa atong dialogue karon, at least mas klaro sa tanan nga ang kinsa ang dunay primary responsibilities aside sa management, unya kung mahumana ang ilahang procedures, madung ni dito sa private sector. Mao dahil po ni hinungdan, ug ngano nga doon na tayo mga recommendations. We have recommendations on improvement of the facility of the airport, including the food stalls and the concession areas, kana duty-free shop baka or mga restaurant baka sa sulod, wala pa na ma-awarded, gitabunan pa na og mural because when we inspected the airport site, atong gipangutangan ng daan kung na ba naka-award. But they are giving a free hand to whoever will be awarded by the concession. And by the way, concession agreements and all contracts in that airport, i-clarify na sa atong DOTR secretary o sa atong CAAP official, is left entirely to the national level. Because my appeal was to download some powers and responsibilities to the OIC manager para kapaspas ang decision making. But apparently, naa sila structure dito, naa sila cluster head sa CAAP, kunya to ako sa higher authority. Mo to nga, hasta sa pag-appear sa media, nakasabot ko nga ang atong attorney tatlong hari, yung ako'y nagdala din sa operation sa CAAP, dili automatically maka-respond tungkol kaya muna sila ila pang protocols and layers nila sa CAAP. Kunya, karong buntaga, malipay ko kay after all discussions, ni-agyo silang tanan. No? Kunya, in summary again, naklaro na ni nga kanang pag-decide sa pagbalhin sa airport, naklaro na ni nga this is a top management decision of the OTR. I confirm the statements ni Engineer Ed Mangalili, mahitungod sa urgency, mahitungod sa potholes sa Tagbilaran, which was about to be closed for 2 weeks. Minsan po nato si Dennis Ores sa CAAP, kaya nagpatabang siya sa Office of the Governor. I did not agree to a 2-week closure because the 2-week closure will mean mo cripple sa operations din sa lalawigan sa Bohol o sa Tagbilaran. And that was also one of the reasons. Ako na ning istorya ninyo in one of the kitaog ang gobernador nga na-save ni because the Panglao Airport team of Engineer Mangalili generously extended support by providing asphalts to the Tagbilaran Airport. No? So, ang katong ilang Tagbilaran Airport team, isuportahan ko sa atong provincial engineering. So, wala ma-close, pero mao dahil nagigamit sa DOTR nga basihan nga as long as the airport in Panglao has a good runway, better than what we have here, bisag dunay tuwang pa ang terminal, then they decided. It was, I think, Secretary Tungadi himself who delivered the speech. To our surprise, hasta kita mismo na surprise nga i-operate the following day dayon. Because Secretary Tungadi announced it only during the actual operation. So, it is getting clearer through sa statement sa CAAP o sa DOTR o ngano nga dihay quick decision sila nga ilang abrihan ng atong airport. And then, on the instrument landing system o kanang night flights, our airport, diklaro ni sa atong officials sa CAAP nga ready, ang atong airport is designed to have night flights. In fact, international standards good name. But to their explanation, na ay mga protocols pa nga subayon. While the day flights are already allowed, they are still following the old Tagbilaran Airport rule nga o na ay night limitation pa. Tungod kay ang ilang mga gitawag o decision na tungod sa approach procedures, sa flight checks nga pag-imuon, and the most important, they need to publish. Naa sila publication. Morning nga, ato po ni mapangutana, anus aka yun maka-apply ang night flight? That's the question that I hope we will be guided. No? So, when the night flights could possibly be open. And then, on the zoning of the airport, iklaro na to nga na sila zoning, maunay hinungdan nga nung wala pa makasugod ang transport, pero my understanding in the text of Secretary Tugade was allowed na nila operation in Panglao for the time being kadto mga porter, transport service, but I received an information from the porters group nga wapa kuno hindi pa sila nakabalik, hindi pa sila nakatrabaho. My question is, how long will this wait be? Because every day is a livelihood day sa mga maliliit na tao. And that is why I understand the statement of Mr. Bailey, this is needed now. I think that is the point that Mr. Bailey is raising. That is also the point the blind buzzers and the blind singers are saying. That is also the point that is being raised by the other groups that are taking their livelihood. No? So, appeal ana ang mga taga-Panglao na naglantaw na makatrabaho sila sa atong airport. And in fact, kani may istorya og trabaho, before the start of this project, it was very, very clear that priorities will be given to the jobs. Kung na-skill sa Panglao, Panglao. Kung why skill sa Panglao, Bohol. Kung walay skills sa Panglao, Bohol, external skills. And that was when the DEPO was designated to give the coordination in that regard. I just realized nga pagsud di ay sa Kaap, murag wa kaayo sila coordinate ang bahina. So I would like to make sure nga this is being carried out because labi na gyud sa mga naa sa resettlement sites. They were given trainings. They were given trainings for food handling. They were given trainings for work and jobs that can relate to the function of the airport. I think in fairness to them, kung sa ubang mga tao sa Panglao na who also contributed their share to make the project realized, then they should be on top priority to be given and allowed spaces of work within the airport. I think that is consistent with the original concept of why we are building an airport. That is consistent with the original plan of how the airport can provide improvement in the livelihood of people and the economy of the entire province of Bohol. No? So 3 points to. And then on the other point, automatic switch. No? So this is now a clear explanation from the management. That was the reason why the province did not want to make explanation, because on the first place, we were not even authorized to explain, because we did not have full control of what is there, even if the province helped in some way the construction of that airport. So it was just right that it's Kaap explaining now, because after the brownout and the blackout, it was the provincial government and the governor blamed for the blackout. So I hope that is clear to everyone na ang Kaap takes full responsibility, because when I visited there 2 days before the inauguration, Ed Mangalili was there and I asked, what about your power, Ed? And Ed was saying, Kgob, we have tested already our generators, and our generators are working well. So we will be using our generators. That was what Ed Mangalili was saying, to avoid any fluctuation of power in the Bohol power system. And when the blackout happened, my first reaction was, there goes the generator. But I did not want to explain that in public, because it should be the Kaap that will be explaining that to the public. No? So, and then the OTR, yes. And then, because Kaap is the operation, the OTR was the one constructing. No? May tungkol sa availability in the presence of the media, I would be happy if somebody is a spokesperson on the part of the airport is concerned. Not necessarily Attorney Tatonghari or anyone else, but at least somebody who can give explanations. Because if the media do not have access to anyone, they resort to the media system of the provincial government. And that will be unfair to the provincial government, because we are being crucified for something that we do not have responsibility about. So I hope that is very, very clear also to the Kaap team who are here with us today. So mo na nga, dito matingang nga daghang tawo, some people are barking at the wrong tree. They bark at the wrong tree, they hit the provincial leaders for something that they do not have control. But please take note, your provincial leaders are not sleeping. Every time there is a problem, na ay problema, diretso yung tag-contact. Dili tamad ba na, di magsaba, dili mag-media discussions diretso, because at the provincial level, we always look for facts and truth before we bring in the information to the public. Mao na yung rason nga we have to reach out to Secretary Tugade, we have to reach out to Kaap, kaya kuha na ito tanan ng information. Pareha itong information sa Panglao, 16,000 nga tining coliform. I did not agree with that, because it was a spike that was unusual. So what we did, magbanha, but we sought the information by having them check whether a pattern, a trend is being created. O niya gawas ni Ana, we reached out to OMB, we reached out to Office of Secretary Puyat, who was the source of the information, and also sa Secretary sa DNR who was abroad at the time. So I am saying this para ma-clarify sa tanan, your provincial officials are not sleeping. Even before it is discussed in public, as long as it reaches our office, we do our action. Himuon yun nato ang action dayon. And our officials from the CAAP and from DOTR knows that, na kanunay ang communication nato. What we can do, we will do. So, ang usa ani, I just want to be clarified about this landing system for night. How long do you expect? Any target period when we can have a night flight? Because we have already the equipment. The other point is, how long will the workers be waiting for that transition? My understanding with Secretary Kgob was, it's only transferring everybody to Panglao. Pero karon, I realized they're not yet transferred because there are still porters saying they're not allowed to operate. And finally, about the jobs, we hope that there will be closer coordination with CAAP and the municipal government, of course, because the municipal government is the host of this project, and the BEPO. We are offering the BEPO. I told Secretary Kgob, the provincial government is more than willing to extend support and help so that we can assist in resolving issues that can be resolved at our level. Of course, the final decisions belong to the national government because this is a national government facility, this is a national government project supported by the provincial government and the LGU of Panglao and the people of Kgob. So, 3 points.
Thank you, Kgob. Sa rejoinder, yung sa night landing operations, we will seek the approval kasi may mga technical issues ito sa safety issues. We will still coordinate with our central office people. Second, yung sa mga tao, yung porters and tama po yung binanggit ni Governor that as per instruction ni Secretary Kgob, a full transfer of what is in Tagbilaran before. No? So, including yung porters at saka yung transport. So, we are giving Attorney Paeng ng authority na i-accept nila ito. Kung ano yung mga approved transport group dati sa Tagbilaran, subject of course sa mga regulations kasi binanggit kanina na may proliferation or presence ng kolorong, i-check pa rin namin yan. So again, Porters Association at saka yung transport, they can go direct to Attorney Paeng for their acceptance doon sa Panglao, sa Bohol Panglao International Airport. But then I heard about yung parang sort of application ng another group from ng Panglao Porters Association. So, meantime, sabi nga natin, this approval as expressed by the Good Secretary himself is an interim, no? So, habang pinapacilitate natin yung mga iba pang gusto natin matulungan na magkaroon ng trabaho. Again, very clear yung transport at saka yung porters, they can go report to Attorney Paeng with their applications, and then yung nasa taas na, ako na po ang bahalang nagkukumit na magpapalo up. As to the hiring ng employees, yes, definitely we are doing this in some other new airports, coordinating with the locals. Of course, there is always an agreement between the locals, lalo-lalo na doon sa affected. And we are supporting that, no? That say AP local will be closely coordinated with the people. So that yung mapipili nga natin is first is Panglao, second is Bohol, and then kung walang expertise within the localities, then outside. But then I confirm doon sa sinabi ni Governor, mayroon kasi mga technical position sa CAAP na talagang dadaan sila sa masusing proseso, no? sa entrance examination and so on and so forth. Pero ganun pa din, we will prioritize kung ano yung local. We will be extending invitations, we will be posting the openings. Ginagawa namin yan sa mga munisipyo, sa civil service event, sa local. No? Na para aware ang lahat, saka gusto din naman namin, international airport ito, so ang ilalagay natin mga tao as much as possible, the best of the best.
Thank you. Salamat kayo sa pagpasabot, friend. Thank you to Attorney Paeng Tandong Hari. Thank you, Avi, and Engineer Edgar Manalili. Aban nila ang ganing mularga sa Manila karon so pasalamat sa kayo nga miyanin sila din aron nagkikatubang sa ninyo and ma-raise you directly ang inyong mga concern. Of course, gikan sa publiko, kagigagid yan ninyo na direkta ninyo sa CAAP, OTR, and the project technical team. Thank you, no? And atong i-dismiss sila kaya na sila yung lahat ng activity. Salamat. Leia, please guide our friends. Kgob, i-kapos na ta sa tayo, Kgob, then maanin na tayo activity pa. So, Kgob, we would like to ask your parting statements and of course, ang atong mga panginausap, no? Ang atong sa ulog sa Pasko, especially sa mga kaupanan sa provincial government and the entire Bohol community. So, Kgob.
Daghang salamat PA, ug daghang salamat sa atong mga kauban sa New Bohol Airport Project from the DOPR, the Kgob, the JAC na maway nang ani dinhi karon buntaga. Bisan tuod o kanilang ang topic nga atong gikaistoryahan, I think it's a very substantial discussion, substantive sad, undanon kaayo tungod kay nakapekto man sa mga katawhan dili na sa Panglao kundi sa tibok lalawigan sa Bohol. So ani puntuha tuguti ko nga mapadangat ninyo sa atong panghinaot sa usa ka malipayon nga Pasko o bulang bagong tuig, labi na gyud sa atong mga katawhan sa lalawigan sa Bohol nga naminaw kanunay sa atong programa kitawag ang gobernador. Katong pinungduman ang provincial government family sa Kapitolyo o sa atong tanan nga provincial departments. Ang atong pagsaulog sa Pasko paghimuon karong gabi dito sa Bohol Cultural Center. O ato sad nga ipadangat sa atong mga bulanon sa tibok kalibutan, malipayong Pasko sa tanan. Maayong buntag, maayong udto, o maayong gabi kaninyong tanan. Daghang salamat.
Thank you, Kgob. Salamat sa atong mga kala sa Bohol Media. Labi na gyud katong matag Bernes niya din no? Sa atong tulumanon. Katong nakikitawag dili og regular 10 o night group of 10 na apoy regular 10 din kana ba kanina po di gani ma-absent no kanunay o kalingaw gyud ang ilang presence no although salamat sa uban kung event dili sila karon dili pero kapadangan po sila mga question pero since ito bisara ko gipakita na po na yung t-shirt na since 2010 mao na yang isuot kay mao na siya nga nanapulit ilaing special prize na kay special prize mo na siya nga isa og nadam na nagmayo ang yang isuot pero first ko na nga yata nga t-shirt nga itong 2010
Nainundong si Chito madunay premyo basta gamito nagdaan nga t-shirt. So Merry Christmas. Pero ano ko tugutin yung mga pasalamat sa Bohol Media sa atong lalawigan sa Bohol nga nahimong partner nato sa pag-alagad sa katawhan pinaagi sa timely information para sa atong mga kaigsunan. Salamat.
Thank you, Kgob. Thank you. Ay buntag. Merry Christmas. Ano na?